You are watching the most interactive professional wrestling discussion show on the internet. WWE Impact Wrestling.
ROH Wrestling.
Pro wrestling at its finest on In the Hot Seat with your host, Fort Miners Project.
What's going on, guys? I'm back at it again in here for the video for you guys for today. And in today's video, I am in here for In the Hot Seat. Of course, as always, I got a great show lined up for you guys. And as well, I'm being joined by my brand new guest at this time. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Kyle Aguirre. That's pretty much it.
Alright, it's a pleasure to have you here on the show. And I'm going to start things off here. And especially what has happened just past week, especially with Monday Night Raw, and this week anyway, that we have now the new Paul Heyman guy, as we have been revealed to us. How are you feeling about that, especially with Michael McGillicuddy being that Paul Heyman guy and being able to be a part of Paul Heyman Industries, if you want to put it that way?
Well, for one, I loved it. I mean, a lot of people were expecting RVD, obviously.
Right.
Because he was trending number 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
But I actually think it's pretty cool because I was a fan of Mr. Perfect. And obviously I'm a fan of his son, too. I seen him over in NXT. I seen him at the Nexus. He was pretty good at Nexus. Didn't expect it, though. Didn't expect him to be a Paul Heyman guy, but Paul Heyman molded a lot of guys, so I can see a big future ahead of Curtis Axel.
Yeah. I wasn't actually expecting it to be Michael McGillicuddy. I didn't really see RVD being that guy. It just didn't really make that much sense. As much as I still want an RVD return, hopefully we will get to see that. But I think this is going to be doing a lot of great wonders too, especially when you got a guy like Paul Heyman. And I've been hearing nothing but great things, especially from the WWE, actually bringing back Michael McGillicuddy as a new name now. And I thought he was going to actually be under his father's name, but he kind of did in a little bit what I thought anyway, but it was actually to be the new name that we were able to have presented to us. So you know, I don't mind that not that much anyway, so that's really cool. At least he's able to be back on the roster and doing other things, and at least he's not just wrestling on NXT and Superstars. Now we're going to be seeing him most likely as a main eventer right now, and to see how that's going to do. I thought that was really cool that he was able to go up against Triple H, and I guess it looks to me as of right now that we're probably going to be getting a feud going into Payback and as well for most of the summer, so that's really cool. And I really hope this actually works well for him. I've been wanting this for a hell of a long time. I've been a huge fan of the guy, so I hope that, you know, we'll get to see a lot of great things. So I think this could work too, and I didn't really expect, you know, to see who else was going to be the third guy. You know, I was going to go out and say, you know, other guys, but, you know, I just wanted to keep it as a surprise, so it was a damn great swerve. I've been marking out ever since, so I see nothing but great things out of it. Go ahead.
I enjoyed the face-off between Curtis and Triple H. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
That kid has a lot of... That kid, without, like, breaking a smile or anything.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. He's going to be pretty big in the future, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so. Especially with his matches.
He doesn't drop the ball.
Yeah, I hope not, and I think they're gonna do actually good things for him, especially for this year. So I'm just gonna enjoy it and see how it is. And I've enjoyed his matches too before, from what I've seen. So hopefully I will get to see him at the house show that I'm going to next month. So that'll be total badass. But anyway, that about does it for Michael McGillicuddy and his new gimmick. Now going into the next topic, and something that I kind of touched a little bit basis on S&D's pay-per-view pre-show for Extreme Rules, and that was with recently Dixie Carter actually mentioned this on Twitter, that she was kind of into this and actually up for the idea, but I doubt it's going to be happening anyway. So how do you feel about the possible WWE versus TNA event? Do you think it would happen? And if it does, who would you like to see be able to go up against each other for WWE versus TNA?
Boy, that's a tough question. I personally don't watch TNA that much, but I do know a lot of superstars on there.
Yeah.
Like, I know Samoa Joe, Sting, Kurt Angle, Austin Aries. I mean, I know for a fact that a few of those guys wrestled with CM Punk a lot. Some of them wrestled a few of the Shield members. And, I know a lot of history between a few of those guys. And Kurt Angle, he's one of the best.
Yeah,
honestly, if they do that crossover stuff, I do want to see it. I do. I mean, there's a few guys that I want to see face off. I want to see Kurt Angle versus CM Punk.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, those two would just click. Or even another Brock Lesnar versus Kurt.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I remember that feud. That was great.
Maybe CM Punk versus Austin Aries. Shield versus some of the members of the
Aces
not
and
very likable team, but Aces and Eights that's just been dragging on. In my opinion, too long. But that team is pretty solid.
Yeah. Actually, I don't really know if this is going to be happening. I don't really see it happening. But if it does, I'm sure WWE will probably actually gain a lot more momentum. Now, if they did do something like this, it would be actually pretty cool, like what they did with ECW, have it as a one-night stand type of thing, and to see how that goes. But, it probably won't happen. But, to me personally, if it did, and there are actually a few good matches that I would like to see come out of this pay-per-view, and I actually mentioned mainly one that I was able to mention too on the pay-per-view pre-show, and one of them being like with Bobby Roode and Triple H, those two guys, since how they're pretty much similar, and I think that would be pretty cool. I'm not really going to go into like predictions or anything, but just saying like as if it would happen and to see what would go down and to see who I would want to be able to have in those matches. Just getting into a few more like Abyss and Kane, I think that would be awesome. Then that would be also as well with this next match, since we didn't get to see it at a WrestleMania, we were supposed to, but things changed. And with Sting and The Undertaker, that would be great to have that at that pay-per-view if it were to happen. Yeah, I would like to see that.
I would like to see Kurt Angle versus Undertaker too.
Yeah, that would be great.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, those two work really well with one another. Also, another one could happen, like guys like John Cena, of course, he could be in there with AJ Styles, and as well maybe in a triple threat with Randy Orton, something like that. So something like that I have been wanting to see for quite some time. Go ahead.
Or Hulk Hogan versus John Cena.
Yeah, that could work, but I don't really think that Hulk Hogan really needs to wrestle that much.
I don't want to see it, but people do.
Yeah.
Because he's The Rock. And,
Yeah. But, that was just me on just stating some of those matches off. So, I don't really see it happening all that much, but if it did, that would be badass. But if it doesn't, then we got the wrestling games for that. So, it is what it is. But, I thought that was actually a really interesting topic to talk about, so I've been wanting to talk about that for quite some time. And now getting into this next topic too, that actually everyone has been talking about too lately, and that's with Antonio Cesaro, and especially with what appears to be anyway that WWE isn't really too fine on Antonio Cesaro. So I was kind of curious, how do you feel about him? What do you think that really needs to work with him, and how do you feel about his character overall?
First of all, I honestly think they should just get rid of the yodeling. From what I understand, they have him yodeling.
Yeah.
Second of all, I love his talent. The way he wrestles, that guy, to me, has a future in main eventing. Change his theme song, mold him a little more serious. Like, stop the languages and stuff like that, and be a little more serious. Do something about him. Just mold him a little more. Polish him a little bit. And turn him face. Turn him into a good guy.
That'd be interesting. I don't know if he'll actually be that good of a face, but, if he does, then we'll see how it is. But for me, personally, I think he's fine being a heel. I really like that, what you said too, just get rid of the yodeling, and they actually have been doing that lately. I hope they stick with that because he really didn't need that. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's either face or heel. I don't really care. It's just, I hope they mold his character a little more. He needs a good molding. He needs someone. He needs someone backstage teaching him a little more.
Yeah, I've always, been a fan of Antonio Cesaro, so I have not really that much any complaints, so I don't find him boring. I like what he's been, doing in the ring, and his in-ring work is really awesome, so, I think they're going to be able to hopefully present him more, so, like you said, have no yodeling and all that stuff, and have him be himself and actually see what he can really do even more in that way. Then he can do wonders too. So, for me personally, that, like I stated before, him being a heel is, I think a lot more better. But it is what it is. So, I personally don't really find Antonio Cesaro boring. That's just me. So, that's how I feel about that. So, that about does it for me. With all the topics that I do have, was there anything else you want to state off, or any shout outs too, for that matter? You can state that off too if you want to. By the way.
Actually, I would like to add something that's been bothering me in the WWE just a little bit.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Some people were thinking when Extreme Rules, everyone noticed that on Extreme Rules, title was TV-14. The thing was that it wasn't really TV-14. People knew that it was PG. But it was PG, but it had TV-14 twist in it. But there was no blood. I knew that there wasn't going to be any blood. I was hoping there was. I thought there would be. But that incident with John Cena, I'm not sure if that was real or not, but that was pretty TV-14 material.
Right, and I think that's probably why they really just want to go out there and add it on there. Especially for the pay-per-view, and I seen that they did that too for last year's Extreme Rules. I know that was able to be TV-14 with the DVD and everything, DVD-wise, so, I'm pretty sure that was just basically adding more to the story with John Cena and Ryback, and John Cena is most likely going to be able to come back from that match and be able to go into the ambulance match, which has actually been added. So Payback to me so far is looking to be really fucking awesome, and it seems actually pretty exciting. And last I heard, I think we're going to have all the championships to be on the line, and I talked about Payback a little bit not too long ago. So as of right now, I think this pay-per-view is actually going to do really well. Of course, it's in Chicago, so, I think it's going to actually be well worth the pay-per-view. So I'm actually really looking forward for it.
I enjoyed Ryback's promo too. I'm not high on Ryback. I'm not calling him a Goldberg wannabe because honestly, there's so many different things between Goldberg and Ryback. So even though Ryback dresses like him, but who cares about that? But Ryback's promo last night was different. I enjoyed it. That was pretty cool. I thought it was John Cena that was going to start out Raw. Because I'm one of those guys that are tired of John Cena's gimmick and stuff like that. I'm hoping one day that maybe soon that they do an injury story or something like that and take him off TV for a little bit to give him a break because he's been at it since 2007. So
yeah, well, in a way, they kind of technically are doing that right now, especially with the pay-per-view for Extreme Rules. So I'm sure he'll probably be back eventually, and especially in time for the actual pay-per-view and the match and everything. So, especially going into Ryback too. I've talked about him in the past too as well myself, so I have been enjoying his heel character. I think it's going to do a lot more better for him too, and, I've been a huge fan of Ryback, so I'm not too exactly sure if he's going to win the WWE Championship just yet. It seems like the pay-per-view, it kind of just reminds me of Ryback. You got Payback. Ryback kind of goes a little bit with the whole gimmick pay-per-view and everything in a way. So, so I kind of wonder if he is going to actually be able to win the title and have a swerve there. So, anything can really happen. So I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to go. To see how John Cena and Ryback are going to really interact with one another, and I was really surprised how they were able to have a great match too as well. So I really enjoyed their match at Extreme Rules. So I'm actually pretty excited for that, for their match too with the ambulance match. Yep. So that about does it for In the Hot Seat. And is there any shout outs that you have too for that matter before we end the show here officially?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Be sure everyone checks out another WWE fan as well as me, because I'm a huge fan of wrestling for many years. There's another guy out there named Eric Luke.
Awesome.
His Twitter username handle is usetheforce01. So be sure to check him out. I always tag him in the nights we watch Raw and stuff like that, because I go over to his house to watch Raw every day. I mean, every Monday.
Alright, so it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I will leave everything what you said with the shoutouts and everything in the description box for you guys to check out. So be sure to comment what we talked about. Check out the links down below in the description box. And until then, I will be back for my next video, and that'll be for my anniversary video, most likely on Saturday. So stay tuned for that on Saturday. That's going to be really awesome. But anyway, that about does it for In the Hot Seat. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next episode. See you guys. Peace.